Greetings everyone, this is Mike Wright, the Astro Sherpa, dropping in with a spatial report. This is the prelude to the full moon coming up here a little later. So the sun's at 2 degrees of Gemini here past Jupiter and Venus, which are making their conjunction right as we speak. At the last degrees of Taurus, 29 degrees, 22 minutes. So this is feeling a huge transformation in the earth, your physical body, awareness. Where are you pioneering new things in your life? What have you left behind? Old beliefs. So we've lost a huge amount of the previous generation, and some of those people were like stubborn old goats. They keep hanging around, coming back up and spewing their garbage, their poison. So that's the acidic nature that dissolves things. So when things are dirty and ugly, it takes serious toxicity to clean it up. So we are going through a huge transformation process, and it started with the solar eclipse that came across America. And if you weren't awakened to the cosmic consciousness making its way known here in our reality, then you are dead asleep. But congratulations, if you're listening now, that means there's hope for you yet. So this is a time to understand who you are. And you got to start with the physical structure you're in. So that is picking up things, looking at it, and then inspecting it. You know, as a kid, when you're 1 to 2 years old, you start, wandering around and picking things up. Guess what? You put it in your mouth. Is this edible? Yuck. We get these Scorpio people, we put it in and try them out, and then we know they're corrupt, some of them. The other ones are the opposite. They've let go of the corruption phase and now have revealed true power. And the true power is communing with others through water, emotions. That's why some ancient cultures used a baptism ritual, dunking through the water, because the water holds all our memories. If you look at this chart right in front of us right now, looks like a big envelope right here. Look, and this star is a pentagram with the pentagon right there on the center. And that makes another pentagram upside down this way if you mark that out. So this is a universal symbol of Venus right here. Venus was the projection of power and harmony. How we get in tune, how we receive. So Libra is the reflection of Aries. Aries is when the spring, the sun, starts to gain more power. So it was looked at as the young little lamb. But the little lamb became this rambunctious little energetic being that didn't know boundaries. So it just bounces around and wants to headbutt everybody, start fires, sparks. But this is how you learn, how you get better. We have to fight battles and not be afraid. It's your fear that controls you. When you're afraid, that's what limits your capability to focus. Okay? And we've all been under this massive wave of dark energy that was propagated by authoritarian structures. Propagated means they maximized the message and repeated it so that those who are weak got destroyed by it. Those who are becoming stronger, this is your awakening. awareness, cosmic consciousness. So this full moon we're going to look at, I'm going to take you out on a little field trip and show you that there are different ways to look at time. So a full moon cycle is started with the new moon in each one of 12 signs. So the moon, when it's full, is in opposition, is always most likely in the opposing sign. Occasionally, when you have a new moon at the end of a sign, say Taurus, the full moon will actually end up in Sagittarius. So that is an evolution. So all these things have meaning. So just by looking at geometry and the angles these planets make in a circle, we get these divine cosmic messages, shapes. Look at that. That is an eternal shape, and that's held power forever. The America's military generals wear stars on their shoulders. The Pentagon, which is the center, is the headquarters of our military. Mars, Aries, rules military. It also rules pioneers, frontiers, setting the pace in a new direction, being smarter. So we're in the future now with this Mars new desire to be the sum of who you are and say, I know the thinker apart from the thoughts, the actor from the actions. You know, you have to look at your mind. Where does it race to? Where does these voices come from that you hear internally? Where do the external clues come from? Numbers, these are all just separations of frequencies. And we're tied to notes. So you get a positive 2 or a negative 2, a shadow. So this shows us in this reality, when you separate yourself, which is Aries, a bursting forth from the dead, you start to separate, it creates poles. You have something digging down into the earth, roots, in our case, the grounded energy, and then you're growing your consciousness, meaning awareness of your environment around you, your senses. Why do you have fingers? Why do your palms have the waves and lines they do? People studied that. And then they added superstition instead of the old facts, which were, these are electromagnetic energy fields. We're balls of energy. We are rechargeable, organic, meaning living batteries. So these are all phases of charging and discharging energy. And when you understand your form, the form you take right now, you imagine your body as it is. You put in your mouth the things that compose your form, matter. So if you want a beautiful form, put beautiful things in your mouth. Okay, that's matter, Taurus, energy. This is minerals, vitamins, milk, cheese, the earthy power, dense food. So the transformation of that would be over here in Scorpio, when you take the harvest of grapes and you make wine and you store it. Or you take old wine and you make vinegar. So now that product, which grew from the earth, went through this massive phase and then transformed into a new power. Vinegar is a cleansing agent, a healing agent, but it stings you. That's why Scorpio has that existential sting. But once again, they're the most beautiful people because they understand the power of physical connections and letting go of the ego mind's control. So ego sum means I am. So that's the last, and that was represented by the number 9, ego sum. So 9 is this sum of these single digit numbers. 1 was in everything, but it's by itself, unique. 2 was 1 separating itself. So take 10, which is a 1 and a 0, and it divides by 2, gives you a 5, another odd number. So 5, 5, look here, means at 55. So we see odds can make even pairs. But everything came from this nothingness, which they represented as 0, but it was made known by this burst of light, 1, separation. Pure energy force. And the ancients saw that up here in the skies, the heavenly sphere, as this subtle essence of golden light. So we as humans can't take in that light unless it's diffused, because our little brains just can't handle the higher dimensional frequencies. So some of people here have probably been experiencing symptoms of these higher frequencies, higher vortex energy fields that literally can make you nausea. You know, it's like when astronauts train and they have to go through these G-force fields. You know, we were spinning at these huge fast rates, and that's, you know, we're feeling that in our physical bodies, but we're all now capable of absorbing immense amounts of information. You know, kids nowadays, kids being the younger generations, they're absorbing information that the pre-2000 generation, you know, would take 20 years and intense research. You can literally get the information now and absorb it and have an understanding. You still have to apply it and burn yourself to get the synthesis, but they do have the awareness, consciousness. So this wheel we look at is the sun's journey, sun being the unified central source of light, meaning our mind, great mind, goes around this circle in a predictable fashion, plus minus, masculine, feminine, animal signs, duality signs, human signs. It covers it all. This was an ancient technology envisioned by very smart people through math. So when if I click on something here, if you look over at the bottom here, code is all these little dots and numbers. So HTTPS -- horoscopes would literally be represented by these 3-digit numbers in 4 positions, 192.168.000.000. That was called an address, subnet mask address. So a scheme to know where things are placed in time space. So this wheel is our universe of time space. So loops, patterns, history is shown in reflections. So this moon, I'm going to take you out and show you here in a minute, is a satellite. It revolves around the Earth. So we're looking at this chart from the Earth's point of view. So you, being the Earth, is centered here, and then we're looking at how these revolve around us. The sun rises here, gives us new awareness, peaks here in the south at high noon. So we're empowered, and then we need a nap. We have to digest what we've become aware of and grow through learning, and then we let go and then relate to others. And then the sun sets over here in the west. So when I show you the moon out here on our little field trip, you're going to be aware of the angles to the horizon it makes. So as I update this chart, 433, our little cosmic star, which is pointing at Pluto, getting ready to move back a degree out of this death and destruction degree, all of life being temporary. So we're going to head back and look at the Saturnian structure of wealth, power, corruption, lies, your belief structures that didn't get you anywhere because they limited you through rituals and ceremony only, instead of growing your mind and awareness. These principles of light is understanding, illumination. Light brings literally everything we can see through reflection. But I don't know what that means until I feel it, the water. So we were looking at this last degrees of the moon in Scorpio water, trining over here to Neptune, which is showing us the end of the old media, the old Hollywood, the old music industry, all these illusionary stories. Their end is coming next year when Saturn hits this spot. It's over. We've transitioned into this new age where content and creators are you. Are you real? Can you broadcast, which would be Capricorn, your emotional power, Cancer? Do you stand on firm ground, your heart? Virgo, do you have everything in order precisely to relate your emotional power, your belief structure to your community and friends to make it better, share power, not to become an influencer or to be idolized? That's how you get destroyed. So cosmic consciousness is realizing you have 12 opportunities, 12 tribes, 12 reasons every year to grow and understand yourself. Plant a seed, see how it works out. Guess what? Pass or fail, it doesn't matter. You're growing one way or the other. So let's go out here and take a little field trip. It's been a while. All this energy's been nuts. I mean, that eclipse energy, and then Mars had to go over the North Node, and then it's got to go over the wounded healer there. So the male wounded characters will be past their healing stage and then progressing in this new Earth. So Mercury, which was retrograde back there in Aries, looking at your new character identity, where are you starting new personality things, where you're empowering yourself, not from others. We're leaving behind Libra, old relationship issues, where it was codependent. The old social contracts of the law of attraction was massively upset, especially by Black Moon Lilith. So this is your time to free yourself and forgive yourself for any past mistakes and wounds, and you're free to walk a new journey of awareness. That's the path. So you just forgive yourself, tune in your body, harmonize, start to sing, paint, get in tune with your cycles. So male, that's harder to do. Feminine, you guys known cycles all your life, but they've been disrupted with artificial blockers. You know, these things that have been messing with your real emotional power and getting you out of tune with your real cycles. When you get back in tune, you're going to find an envelope stuffed full of power. This earth gives us power everywhere. Energy's being transmitted, transferred, exchanged everywhere. So you just got to understand it and be in the right place to harness it. It's not about all this fake industrial, commercialized, bioengineered trash that is killing everyone. Anyway, enough ranting. Sorry. This is growing season, growing awareness, growing your power, loving your neighbor, because your neighbor is a reflection of you. Man, it's hard when you got a tough neighbor, but in the end, when you see and feel who they really were, it's just part of you. So if you love them, you love yourself. Look at that beauty. Man, the moon, it's been hiding, so our emotions had to be, drawn inward. We had to go inside to look at who we really were and reflect deeply. That's what they mean, go deep into the water. You have to look at your emotional patterns, where they came from. Why were you eating the shit you were eating? Why do you watch the same damn programs that just bombard you with frequencies of selling you fake medicine, ground up food as vitamins? That shit's junk. You need to absorb colors, frequencies, vibrations, and then harmonize and understand your power to transmit to others, not your old wounds. You have to heal. Let go of yourself. And then you can see who ego sum really is. That's understanding that we are both feminine and masculine, dark and light. But it's seeking the balance, the paradox, harmonizing. Then you can live in that in-between state, knowing change and motion is all there is.